Hey everyone, it's another edition of Interlude Sector Presents Talk on Tuesdays. It's an election Tuesday for some of you guys around the country. And so we hope that you have gone out and exercised your right to vote. No, that's my PSA for today. I'm officially done with anything else, but we want to make sure that we let you guys know what in the world is going on. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, welcome. And we're going to get started soon. And we're getting started now. Coach, he is in the process of making his way here. And of course, we are just chit-chatting with you guys to let you guys know about some of the things that we've been doing here on the platform. And so, man, oh man, it's been an interesting November so far. And I'm I'm gearing up. Now I got friends of mine in New York. They're a little nervous. They don't know how things are going to be. They got a new mayor coming out. I don't know who's that going to be. But you know, we don't do too much politics around here. So, but we are going to do a little politics tonight, but it's just in honor of my forever first lady. I'm extremely biased. But we got a great show planned for you guys tonight. It's Interlude Section Presents Talk on Tuesday. And I see Mr. Springer is in the building. Good to see you. If you're in the chat, give us a shout. But we're going to get started right about now. Here we go. Woo, 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 woo. It's another edition of Interlude Sector Presents Talk on Tuesdays. We are here. We are jamming. And of course, I'm your host, Val, the Voice Johnson. Woo! I'm always the updated photo of Coach Tony. I'm just gonna make fun of him real quick, but here it is. He took this picture when he got his award in, when was that? August? Yes, August of this year when we both got our awards. We can now say that we're an award-winning podcast platform. And now I think he told me that he has blue eyes. I've never known Coach to have blue eyes, but you know, I'm not gonna argue with him on that. Oh gosh, ladies and gentlemen, a DJ saved my life. That is the book that we have been promoting for the last couple, now going on 2 years. Let me grab it. It is the personal memoir of myself becoming a virtual DJ in the middle of the pandemic. I was really giving a lot of love and help and fun to folks. And so I wanted to make sure that I wrote about it. And then I don't know if you guys ever watched, what was that, American Bandstand or Soul Train? Remember Soul Train? Oh my gosh. I go into how both Don Cornelius and Dick Clark inspired me to become a podcaster. You would probably want to hear about that, right? You would probably want to read about that, right? And I also give the ABCs of starting your own podcast. You can do that and check out the book. And of course, go to purelighthouse.media.com. There's merch. There's the print book. And if you're like, Val, of course, we support you. I'll get the ebook. You could do that there as well. And of course, we have KeySpot. That's one of our affiliate sponsors. Share, connect, and grow. If you have a small business and you're trying to get the word out about your business, KeySpot is based in Cincinnati, but the app is worldwide. Go ahead and go to keyspot.com/free, and you will be able to connect with other entrepreneurs around the country. Now, I'm going to be mentioning this patreon.com/interludes. I've taken a little bit of a break, but we're coming back. I was given a great idea. We're coming up on Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. We should be giving thanks all the time. I've had my new client remind me of that. She's going to be doing that on her platform. And I was thinking, you know what? I should do that with the Patreon group. So, of course, you can join for free at patreon.com/interludes, and you'll see some of our behind the scenes. Now, Coach has been running off after we get off and we stop the button. We push the button and say, okay, no more live. I like to always have my camera ready so I can, have it for our Patreon family. And then he's like, no, Val, don't film this. And I'm like, oh man, you got to respect your podcasting part. You got to do it. You can't just run over it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you guys know about something, the morning meetup. I have been with this business virtual group that's based in Atlanta for the last 6 months. I have really enjoyed it. The person that runs it, his name is David Shands, and one of his favorite quotes is, consistency is the only cheat code. You can join the morning meetup. It was a higher price when I joined, but now it's $19 a month to commune with other entrepreneurs around the country. We do this. It's 1 hour in the morning, getting you accountable for your business and getting things done. And I am meeting some very important people in this group. You guys go ahead and meet up. They're now one of our affiliates. And so go ahead and scan the QR code and learn a little bit more about the morning meetup. And that's my picture with David Shands. We took it earlier this year in Atlanta. And I just wanted to make sure that I talked to you guys about that. Oh my goodness. But anyway, also Coach Tony, he's got his IG. Go ahead and scan and follow him on Instagram. It's the Pull Up Podcast Show. I'm so proud. I post for him, but he definitely gets on there and posts everything about that. And then for myself, I have an IG along with the IG for Val the Voice. Yeah, we're doing it. We're fighting. We're doing our thing out here. And the coach will be in just a couple of minutes, because I was telling him, I says, Coach, I got to make sure that I talk to the people about, we discussed what we were going to talk about on tonight. And I was like, you want to talk about BMF? And I told him, I don't watch the show. But he said, Val, I will break it down for everybody. And I said, okay, well, you go ahead and you break it down for folks. So that'll be a fun thing for that. As I said earlier, it is election night. And on Sunday night, I got a chance to watch an interview with Robin Roberts. I don't know if you guys saw this, with Michelle Obama. The style, the power, the look. So I was trying to figure out, why was she being interviewed on Sunday around the same time that Donald Trump was being interviewed on 60 Minutes? Wondering. But here's the real reason why Michelle was there. Michelle has a new book out called The Look. Doesn't she look elegant? She looks like a queen to me. I don't know. I'm a fan, and I think this is wonderful that we have the first and the only African-American former First Lady continuing to just inspire and be out there. And so I'm a huge fan. She's from the South Side, just like I'm from the South Side of Chicago. So she's got a new book out called The Look. And that's why she was on being interviewed by Robin Roberts. I was like, why are you here? So I said, no problem. I'm not gonna complain about it, because I did watch a little bit of the interview with, I believe, Trump. I have my picture here, right? I'm looking for it. I think it's okay. I think it's there. I did watch a little bit of that interview, and I was just a little uncomfortable. I don't know if anyone watched it, but I did. And we have a lot going on with the government shutdown. And let me know in the chat if you know anyone that's affected by the shutdown. I think we're in day 34. And if you guys heard this interview or saw it, I really didn't get any vibes that he wants to end this shutdown. And it was very good to be able to turn the channel and see Michelle Obama, because I was starting to get a little crazed about it. So I said, you know what, we're going to watch Michelle and watch her be stylish. Oh my gosh. Well, one of the things that we wanted to talk about was the big deal that happened between Skydance and Paramount. I don't know if you guys heard about this. This was two major companies. Now, Paramount is over CBS, and then Skydance is a film corporation. They're a studio that makes a lot of films. Have you guys heard about this? Now, earlier this year, me and Coach talked about how Stephen Colbert talked about this. Earlier this year, I think Donald Trump sued Paramount and CBS for the interview that was done with our former Vice President, Kamala Harris. It was a lot that had happened. And so how ironic, the deal went through, Trump's on 60 Minutes, but then there was some rumbling that happened about Gayle King. And I was thinking to myself, does Gayle King have anything to do with these two powerhouses coming together? And I want to make sure that I get some of my facts straight. I want to make sure that I'm talking about this deal that went through back in 2024 in July. These companies talked about doing a merger with Skydance Media and Paramount Global, and now it is together. It is together. Paramount, Skydance, they reorganized. And unfortunately, there was a lot of shows, because if Paramount's over CBS, some shows didn't come back. There have been some major changes. And I think this is an $8 billion coming together of these two corporations. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because they are responsible for a lot of the content and a lot of the movies and shows we watch. Let me see if I see this correctly. Yes. A definitive agreement to merge, a deal valued at $8 billion. Wow. And so that's what's happening. And they're saying that Paramount moves cable under CBS. So there's a lot of things that's happening. But earlier in the what is this? Earlier in the weekend, we heard, well, there was rumors that Gayle King was leaving CBS Morning. And I was like, she is? I wanted to mention this because Coach is such a huge fan of CBS Mornings. How many people of you watch CBS Morning? I watch it ever so often. And of course, all of us know Gayle King as the bestie to Oprah Winfrey. She has been in broadcasting for well over 2 to 3 decades. And see, there she is with her bestie right there. And I see Ashley is here. Ashley is here. How are you, Ashley? Good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, so I was just trying to figure this out. So you have the deal that's happening. You have Skydance and Paramount. This is an $8 billion deal. And now all of these changes that happened, Coach and I talked about Stephen Colbert and how the show is not coming back because he mentioned this deal and the connection to Trump. And now I believe I see Coach is in the building. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Man, I feel like the new fly jock. Hey, welcome to the new me. It's basketball season. So, hello, everybody. I mean, I'm running practice every night now. So,
oh, you're running practice every night. Okay, well, everyone is happy to see you. I had Megan reach out to me and she's like, I need the link. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get you the link. And I showed the picture. I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep talking and keep on doing until Coach gets here. But ladies and gentlemen, it's Coach Tony Thompson. He is in the building. And of course, you got people saying hello.
man, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Got a nice day.
And Ashley says hello from Brooklyn.
Ash from the Brooklyn in the house. Come on.
Yeah, both him and Kevin are here, and I'm just wondering, how's the mayor race going? How is the mayor race going in New York? Y'all gotta live.
Hey, that's it. That's how the mayor race is going. Mudabi. That's it. It is the race.
I don't know how that's gonna happen. So I feel like it's gonna be an interesting time.
Mudabi and Cuomo, and he didn't have his piece. Now, you know, it's wild when Cuomo goes as an independent, and then Donald Trump comes on and says, oh, he's the best candidate in the race, and it's about time he woke up and became an independent. I endorse him. What? Come on.
A little bit earlier before you got here, I went ahead and discussed how Trump was on with 60 Minutes. Now he hasn't done an interview with Nora. He hasn't done an interview in over, I want to say 5 years. But this was a hard interview for me to watch, Coach. I was mentioning this earlier, and then I turned the channel and then I looked and I saw Michelle. But did you see a little bit of this interview? I'd love to get your thoughts on this.
I watched the whole thing.
Okay, so what's some of your thoughts on it? Yeah, and here's the thing, Coach, and I see some folks mention some things, and Ashley says, "Hey, Coach Tony," so we're checking it out. But I was, like I said, I was just really extremely uncomfortable watching this interview, and it kind of disturbed me that this was happening. But as I was saying about Gayle King, there was this horrible rumor going around that Gayle King was going to leave CBS Morning. And I wanted to talk about it because I know Coach Tony loves the CBS Morning show. He watches it. He says, hey, Val, this came out on CBS Morning. I watched Gayle and I was like, okay. And I see Coach is back because something happened. Yeah, there we go. So you're a big fan of Gayle King, right, Coach?
Oh, yeah, I'm all in CBS in the morning, you know, because her and my boy, Nate Burleson, you know, I've been trying to get at Nate on a couple of things and whatnot, but love Gayle. Glad she came and she switched over. CBS is just me in the morning. I mean, I get up to them in the morning, listen to what's going on. And today it's even great because you got her. Then you got, you know, like I said, Nora did that interview with the 47th. He was very combative. She tried to stay on track with so many things. And I think they did a poll this morning, and what I like about the poll, and I got to
on CBS Mornings,
9 months in or 11 months in, the entire country was 55%, 55%, 55%, 55% in disliking Republicans, 55% disliking Democrats, and 55% disliking independents. So right now, more than half of Americans don't like anything going on with whatever party is in Washington. You know why? Because when the election came, we are, as a country, like most countries are. But once the election is over, you really find out who you are. Not to speak too loud, but you find out who you are. You go back to your place. You go back to your house, your hood, your home. And then you really see who's supporting you. And then you really see if he cares about your community or not. And then you see if you've got a struggle like you have done in the past. And now all Americans, black, white, brown, whatever color you are in the same boat, hit with tariffs, hit with this thing that's going on right now with the
government shutdown. We're in day 34 of that right now.
It's great to see. It makes me mad, Val, that it takes some time of crisis, right? Let's go back when we had the major crisis with the hurricanes, right? We all banded together with Floridans. We all banded together with the people in North Carolina. We had the tornadoes that came through here, through Kentucky, and people banded together. The tornado that hit last year in Chicago. Like, really, a tornado in Chicago? This time of the year, in March, usually got snow on the ground. So we come together when it's time of need. But then all of a sudden, politics separates us. And then sometimes we find ourselves climbing back up that mountain, and the terrain is so rough. We either get caught, we get stuck, or we fall off. And I think we're in a position right now in the country that we're in the stuck position. We don't know whether to continue to climb up. We don't know whether to give up and fall off, or whether just simply to stay stagnant and hopefully somebody come and rescue us. And, and Gayle them did an interview with a few, different Americans from different places. But just amazing to see that they thought that the African American population would be the ones that's hurting, and kind of find out that it's more the Caucasians, because there are a lot of people that of Caucasian descent that are in trailer homes, right, in the country, in these areas. It's not in these major cities, and these tariffs and the agriculture stuff is killing them, but because of quote unquote, Val, who they voted for, they won't speak against it. They think things are going great. And then once they get behind cameras, they're going home at night. They're probably not having too much good words with the wife and the husband, right? Because they're in the same situation that the same family in the hood in the city's in.
Yeah, I was checking out some things with CBS Morning, and the host. This is Tony. This is Gayle. This is Nate. I feel like all of the newscasters are just kind of, they're expressing what they feel, but they gotta. It's a fight to stay neutral, but
it is.
Economics can't be. Can you neutralize economics? Because I got friends of mine that's in Maryland. I got friends of mine that's in New York. They are furloughed right now, or they're not working because of the shutdown. And it's very disturbing to me that we, I'm about to travel, and I'm just trying to figure out, will I land on time or will I be rerouted to Toronto? I don't know.
Just had another incident tonight. Unfortunately, the airplane went down and crashed in Louisville tonight.
Louisville? Was it a commercial or was it private?
UPS plane heading to Hawaii. So they don't know how many people on the ground. Tragic. But I'm going to go back to answer your question a moment ago. Sure, you can separate. And I'm going to give it to you like this.
Okay.
I get to be in a unique situation coaching, right? Because you come across different people. And because most coaches are going to be neutral. People really give you your respect.
Right.
A few weeks ago, playing golf with an older white gentleman, very good friend of mine. Don't know if he's listening tonight. I doubt it. He usually watches the pull-up. But I'll pose the question to you, then I'll answer it for you. But he told me, the reason why the majority of really rich, we're not talking about rich, we're talking about really rich, right? Why the majority of really rich people, especially of Caucasian descent, like black people, brown people, and they don't really pose a threat to them?
Why?
Because he told me, at the end of the day, you're not living in this neighborhood because you can't afford it. So he has no reason. Now think about it. He has no reason to come out of his community and have any qualms about you or the Latino brother or the Indian brother or whomever it is. He doesn't care. And anytime a Republican Party is in the office, then he said he plays his money in the stock market like you betting ponies in baseball and sports. He plays his money in the stock market heavy. I mean, heavy. And when a Democrat hits the office, he pulls out his money. and he doesn't play no stocks for 4 years because he lets his wife spend and do what she wants to do. Hell of an analogy. So he says, when I go home, I don't worry about locking my doors because I know my community has a security guard at the gate. So in order to get in the community, you got to go through the gate where the guard is at. So I don't worry about those people. It's my worry is when I'm not home, right? Who's followed me, who's looking for me, who may be in a situation where I'm in the wrong place. I mean, in the right place, but at the wrong time. But once I leave, I don't worry about that. So therefore, I've got friends of all colors because they are not the same people that are in my neighborhood. And it took me a minute, but I go, damn. Now I start thinking about my neighborhood. You know what I mean? I'm like, shit, I'm in a neighborhood where the people can afford where I live. You know, like, wow. But my neighborhood is better than that neighborhood about 2 or 3 miles away, because that neighborhood 2 or 3 miles away is a hood. And that's all like, wow, what he says makes a lot of sense. And so if you look at that, the 47th is in office. We got people that can't get SNAP benefits, no matter what color they are. And we're throwing parties at Mar-a-Lago. We're tearing down a piece of the White House. We're building a huge ballroom and putting the first lady's office in there. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think ultimately a lot of things that he's doing has been tone deaf. And unfortunately it leaks into every part of our world and entertainment in sports. And like I said, this big deal that happened with Skydance and Paramount, it's an $8 billion deal that happened. You okay?
Yeah.
$8 billion deal. I don't know. I said the word and I was thinking $8 billion make you trouble.
Like, I gotta give me some of that. Val. But you know why the majority of African Americans, it don't really bother them, Val?
Oh, because we've been through this before.
Correct.
We've been through some versions of this, which has been horrible.
Yes.
But let me
I don't care if you're rich or not.
Yeah, so let's circle back to Skydance and Paramount. Why, unfortunately, I think I don't know who let out the rumor that Gayle King was supposed to be not there. I don't know how that got going. I believe
I got the details on that, by the way.
Say what?
I got the details on that for you.
Yeah, so I'll keep posing a question and I'll open it back up to you. But she's been there, I want to say, over 10 years.
Right.
That's her with her bestie. So we all know her. She's besties with Oprah Winfrey. But I think the Skydance deal, there were many shows that weren't renewed or didn't come to fruition at CBS or in Paramount. There was a lot. There's some divisions of Paramount and CBS that's completely gone out. I've had friends of mine that's in the industry. They have either lost their jobs or the show that they were working on isn't shooting anymore. Right. And I'm just thinking, okay, so all of these changes are happening. And so Gayle came, I think she was interviewed or she stopped. I think it was TMZ, and she was like, I didn't hear anything about me leaving. And what did you hear about her refuting? According to Variety, they said that it's rumored, but she's not, her contract is up next year, but as of right now, she's not making any plans to leave CBS Mornings. Now, what did you hear?
Out of everything you just said, the last sentence is correct. She said everything that's been talked about, what she's doing is a complete lie. She talked about it today. The only thing that's up for any negotiation is her contract is up May 24th of 2026, Memorial Day weekend. At that point, she will decide whether or not, to continue with the morning show or maybe move into a different role, kind of like what Norah O'Donnell did. They moved into more journalist road where she's doing more one-on-one interviews and more on scene, like Nora's over in the war and stuff like that. But as far as she's concerned, she loves Tony, loves Nate to death. They built a family in the morning. She's having fun. And right now, unless Oprah's about to build something for her to do something extra, she'd go home. All she's got is the grandkids, and she's loving what she's doing. So she says she has no idea where the rumors came from. She's not been on one interview, period, to say that there has been a situation at work that she's outed. None of that. All she knows is that her contract is coming up soon, and she's just debating whether or not she's ready to retire. And if that's the case, she'll let everybody know. And that's what normal older people in her situation who's been around the block 100 million times, have already made a lot of money, and they're okay. There's a magic word called retirement. And she says she'll let everyone know as she gets close to May of next year. But other than that, if you want to believe the rumors, it's on you, but it's not true.
Exactly. And I mentioned the deal with Skydance and Paramount because CBS Mornings is a division of Paramount. I was thinking that probably someone started that nasty rumor, just fueling the fire of all of the changes that are happening at Paramount CBS. And so I was thinking, I'm glad she addressed the rumors and squashed it. And she looks good. She looks good, great for her age, but she's 70. So if she wants to retire, hey, thank you.
She passed that number. Oh, matter of fact, she's right at the number because they moved the number to 70. So if she wanted to retire in May, she's retired right on schedule. And most of the time, people are in her position is probably retiring a little early because they've got the money. They good. Oprah retired in late 50s, early 60s. So
yeah. And here's the thing. You have served us well, and as the anchor, one of the co-anchors at CBS Mornings, you, Tony, and Nate have done a wonderful job holding things down. She is there. Oprah comes and she's like a guest correspondent with her bestie. I'm thinking to myself,
they can break out. It don't matter. They give it to my baby girl, Rika Duncan. I love her. Chicago. With this Rika Duncan or my girl, both the sisters are ready to step in, and both from the Chi. I'm good with that.
I like that. I like how that's working. Yeah. So if she decides, oh, this is hilarious. Who said this? She could get her maximum Social Security benefit. Yeah, well, hopefully, if the government ain't broke down from the shutdown, hopefully she'll get her Social Security.
5110. Now she can't get nothing because the government closed. Her checks is just like ours. She can put it in, she ain't gonna get it out. Put it in.
Oh my God. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. I would hope that that's not what's happening. I wanted to make sure that I mention this before I go on to one of our main things. Who is this? Oh, here we go. Niecy Nash and Tyler Perry congratulated one of my favorite talk show hosts. Sherry Shepherd got her star on the Hall of Walk of Fame on yesterday.
Like, man, what? Girl, go, girl.
I know. So congratulations to Sherry Shepherd. We have the same birth date. We were both born April 22nd. So I have a special love for Sherry. But yes, so she got her star on the Hollywood Hall of Walk of Fame. And this is a big deal. And so Niecy Nash was there and she spoke and she got emotional. Then Sherry had her son there. She got emotional about her 20-year-old son. That's her only child that she's had. And Tyler Perry was there. So he had her in the film earlier this year. So got a chance to work with her. So this was really a great special moment. And I am over the moon happy for Sherry because she literally had manifested when she was on. Oh yeah. I know Kim Whitley was there too. When she was on Two Funny Mamas, she's still doing the podcast, but when they were during the pandemic, and they were doing the Two Funny Mamas podcast, she says, I would love to have my own talk show. And she spoke that into existence. And then she got a lot of awards for Sherry. I think within the first 2 years. I think they're in the 4th season now. So congratulations to Sherry.
And she's doing very well. Isn't she the one that got the show where the people come in the hallway in the back when they dance coming on the show?
That's not her. That's
Okay.
not her. That's not her. But here's the thing. She started now. She had another producer. I can't think of his name right now, but I was a big fan of his. But he ended up parting ways. But now she does stand up before she sits down and talks. So she's really made the show hers. So she does a solid 5 to 7 minutes of stand up, and then she goes and sits down and then does kind of the hot topics. Because remember, she took over for Wendy Williams, and she was the best liked of Wendy Williams, substitute host, and they brought her on. So yeah, so that's really cool. The other thing I wanted to mention, this is a show that's coming out, I think, tonight on Hulu, called All Is Fair, and Ryan Murphy has created this show for Kim Kardashian. I'm interested in it because of Niecy Nash. Niecy Nash is one of the folks that's in it. Glenn Close. Oh gosh, this is a very attractive. Let me get all the girls.
I saw some of the previews, and it's, I don't know.
I know. So I'm interested to see what people say about this. So like I said, and they're wearing all of my favorite colors. Let me.
I never watched All About the Kardashians, so I probably won't watch this either. So.
So anyway, but that leading into that, but talking about some of the things that we are watching, and I wanted to make sure that I mentioned this, Coach. I was a huge fan of Girlfriends. You remember Girlfriends?
Yep.
Maria Barker-Kill. She wrote and produced this show. Kelsey Grammer, he had a production deal with UPN Paramount. That's what it was back then. They went for 7 seasons. And in the middle of the 7th season, the show just ended. Do you know why they never got a proper series finale?
I don't know.
Writer's strike.
Oh,
2007.
Right.
Yep. Writer's strike.
Let me tell you something real quick. Off the hot presses. Off your hands, and goes and asks the question that you just asked right here off the presses real quick. There's a complete sweep of Democrats. Mondelli wins the New York Knicks mayoral. Virginia and New Jersey also elects the Democrat first female governors for both states. So the Democrats won all 3 races.
Wow. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, because all the votes are in, because a lot of those things are on the East Coast.
And a lot of those votes were voted like a month and a half ago. They said they already had like 1.5 million, 2 million votes in already before the day.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, wow. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. So back to this. Coach, I'm so sorry. I think we found out probably at the end of last week, one of your favorite shows is not going to get a proper series finale. And this is BMF. Awesome. I know. And
it pissed me off because the producer happened to be one of my favorite rappers, 50. And 50, I'd love to have you on the show, man. Pull up on the Pull Up podcast. We can talk about this, dog. But it's not only a creative writer difference. For those that watch the show, BMF is a gangster show out of Detroit, Michigan. Back in the early 1990s, early 2000s, about Big Meech. It was cool. I was talking to Val and Kevin to just know that, back in the day, we was getting on the road, me and my homeboys, hitting our 65 South, heading to Atlanta to Freaknik, and just kicking it at the time. We didn't really realize that we were on the front end of history with Atlanta music scene coming into play with T.I., Jeezy, Outkast, Goody Mob, Dungeon Family, and I can go on and on. And it was great because this is at the time, you got to remember, Val, East Coast and West Coast was warring. And Chicago with Twister, our own boy Rashid, a.k.a. Common Sense, a.k.a. Common, was getting off right now. You know, and them boys were doing everything they had to do or die. And you now, fast forward, get a character in 50 who wants to replay that era and take us all the way up until the arrest of the dad with Big Meech, and utilize his family, real family members, including his son and daughter, in the show. And I love the show. I mean, I don't know everyone else's opinion, but because there were a few things that happened in the show, I remember just back in the day, like out of school, just things that was going on. I remember being in Atlanta. I was telling you earlier tonight, the other day, kicking in Atlanta, freaknik and whatnot. We were just hanging out, and we ran in the hotel of these dudes, and my man was like, "Hey, I'm with BMF. We just in town kicking." Like, we didn't know, you know what I'm saying? We didn't know what the hell BMF. We seen it on the billboard. We just thought that was another, music production, for the rappers and all that, because the South was on the go. And it now appears, Val, that with the release of Big Meech and 50, Rick Ross, our very own Ricky Rose from Florida, in it with each other. And Big Meech basically said, you can't even get the information to do the show anymore. And 50 said, hey, I own the rights. But then 50 starts warring with the son, Val. Starts Twitter bobbing and start Twitter hating, Instagram hating, posting the kid. And it's a kid. So these kids, that's their life. That's what they do. So it just went left. STARZ caught it and said, hey, we don't want to be a part of this. We don't want to be a part of the street scene, because now you've created a mess, right? Outside of work, outside of the studio. And what happens if we film it one night and that explodes in-house? Now we're left holding the bag. So they canceled the show. I'm a little disappointed because 50 got up basically to 2002, 2003 in the series. And if you all know, that's the next year when Meech got caught. I'm sorry, he got in 2001. And that's the next year that Meech got caught, 03, 04, and just got released from prison. He's in halfway home right now in Florida area, serving the rest of his sentence out till he can be fully released. But I'm just a little upset because it's kind of like, you told me you're going to cut my hair, Val, and I had a big function coming on Saturday. And I don't go to the barbershop, and at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, you tell me your clippers broke. You better go get a new pair of clippers.
I know.
So that's kind of what it feels like. It's like somebody just sucker punch you, or you had a party and everybody just let the air out of all the balloons. And it's really sad. And what's really sad to me, Val, is, you know what? It's us against us. Why is it always us against us? Like if you're doing well, I don't want to see Val balling out. So I'm gonna do everything I can do to snatch her off instead of everything I can do to push her up to the next level. So hopefully maybe she pulls me up. And it kills me when you get these young brothers because of hip hop music, rap industry, and now they get an opportunity to go into the movie industry, and we can open up some other doors for a few people, and other people's trying to, make it. And now all of a sudden you think you're doing something slick, and you just killed a lot of jobs. And I was just
about to mention that, Coach, because ultimately it's about, and I want to make sure that I share this. It's been presented that BMF was canceled and due to what has happened. And someone had mentioned this. This is from the Griot on their IG. Someone mentioned another show about drug dealers gone. Why should I be sad? We have way more story to tell than selling death and destruction to our people. And drug dealers are not a positive representation of Black brotherhood. Now,
I think they missed the point. I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. Ultimately, now this is the two actors who I'm a huge fan. Da Vinci, who got started, I
Da Vinci.
believe
Yep.
Da Vinci. I think he got started on Grownish. I remember
Yep.
seeing him there. Demetrius Flannery.
No, Flannery.
Flannery Jr., Demetrius Flannery Jr., Russell Hornsby, Nicole Brianna White, Steve Harris, who's from Chicago, Lala Anthony, Lala Pruitt. Like these are some excellent actors that have come through. And so I'm thinking to myself, all of the people that this show employs, BMF started in 2021 on STARZ, and they started in the late 80s with the first season. And so it would have been good to see this. But here's the thing. You told me when we were talking about this, hey, Val, the way that the fourth season ended was a cliffhanger. So it was a season finale, but it wasn't written. It wasn't written as a series finale where things close up. And I think someone says the son was reportedly on drugs. Is that true?
That's reported. I mean, that's allegedly.
Alleged,
So the thing on that was he wasn't on drugs or anything of that nature doing the show. What happened with him was before they even started shooting the very first show, he was going down that road of gang banging, doing some unwanted thing. And 50 wanting pulled him back and saved his life. So you don't need to have the same road that your old man had. I'm about to come and do a show about your family, and how about the best person to play it is family member, right? That'd be like someone want to shoot a movie about me and you doing a podcast, and and they want to use Little Tone. Why not? That's my son. He'll understand the situation. And,
exactly.
And so when you're looking at that, Val, and it goes back to the comment the person said a moment ago, I don't think it has nothing to do with glorifying gang members. I don't have nothing to do with glorifying drug dealing and all that. I don't think it has to do with anything whatsoever. What you got to remember is that this was what we consider a very important time in our Black culture, right? Because, one, on the positive side, we got the Cosby's going on, the different world going on. Everything's happening in Atlanta, right? We got Tupac and Biggie getting ready to get killed, right? Prior to them getting killed. And that was a story within itself. And then the South is emerging. And in the midst of their South emerging, I keep telling people all the time, argue with me or whatever you want. For those that really know, the Freaknik actually started with us out of Illinois, in Southern Illinois, and it's my frat brothers. The Kappas used to throw a party down at Southern Illinois University. In 1980s, late 80s, 87, 88, 89, 90, SIU was the #1 party school in America. So every year we would converge on SIU and have Kappa Carnival. Every single year. If you went to SIU to go to school and get a degree, you was at the wrong university because it wasn't about that. They kicked it that hard. They eventually shut it down, and they had to find a new place to have the carnival or the party. And DC was kind of losing its luster because you remember what happened in the late 80s? Marion Barry, the drug situation in DC, nobody wanted to be associated. So boom, the next chocolate city came up and was what? Atlanta, Georgia. Everything was popping. CAU, Clark Atlanta, for those that don't know. Morehouse, Spelman. Here comes Drumline. Here comes Stomp the Yard. Here come all these movies. So everything is popping off right there in that early 90s era. And all of a sudden, these guys were going on. If it wasn't for, as you say in the comments on that, for the BMF, then you would struggle even getting T.I. off the ground, Cheesy off the ground, Goody Mob that was tied to there. I could go on with the rappers in Atlanta because the BMF guys threw the paper behind them. Yeah, they were street cred cats because they was coming from the D, but they were doing completely different things than your average drug dealers. They weren't out there trying to initially commit crimes. It happened, but they were trying to take all the guys that were in that business and make one big family across the United States. And at one point, Val, he was making more money than Lee Iacocca at General Motors at one point. He was the plug for the United States. So I think you got to watch the show before you make a boomerang comment on what's going on. And then you got to ask yourself, where was I at in the 90s? Did you ever go to Atlanta? Did you ever experience Freaknik? Did you ever go down there? Did you ever see or listen to some of the rap music that was coming out? Did you even hear about these guys called BMF in the 90s? If not, then it's hard for you. That'd be like me passing judgment on Jordan and I never seen him play.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. I totally understand why people would be upset with a show about drug dealers. Like this is a topic that I feel that was kind of done to death in the early 90s. If you think about it, in the early 90s, we had, what was it, New Jack City. Mm-hmm. We had,
New Jack
gosh. Yeah, we had Menace to Society. That was drugs and gang banging. So that was that. You had Boys in the Hood. So unfortunately, there was a lot of movies in the very beginning.
Oh, that was what? California, which is what they would do.
Yeah, that's what was happening there. So I totally get that. However, there has been and there is a diversity of things that are out there. You are a huge fan of BMF. I was a huge fan of Power. Yeah. So here's the thing. BMF didn't catch with me, but it caught with you. But in my mind, I'm thinking everyone that lost their job or wasn't working because of the original show, they might have got killed off. Their character got killed off. They were able to come right on and be employed in this one. And Russell Hornsby, I'm such a huge fan of the gentleman who plays the father of in BMF. And then here's the thing. I think Monique even mentioned she kind of hollered at 50. I don't know what happened. They had a conversation, and you see here she became one of the people that was on the show. So you may not like the content, but I do love the fact that 50 and his showrunners are employing people. And
so let me ask you a question.
And if you don't like the topic, watch something else.
Right. Let me ask you a question. So that's funny. People say, I love Power. So you like a glorified drug dealer. You don't like the drug dealer that's out in the street, right? Getting in, letting you know this is what it is day in and day out. I ain't out here behind wearing these beautiful suits. I got a club. I'm hiding behind. I'm the plug for the cartel. No. But I'm actually in these streets, and I'm showing you when you roll around Chicago, people. For those that don't know, I grew up in them. When you roll around the city, as they say now, I'm outside. Anything can jump off outside. So you guys have power, and you cool with ghosts, right? Drug dealing, big time. He was just the plug. He was just the mob figure, right? And then 50 and Tommy, obviously Tommy spun off. They still doing stuff. They killed more people than the law allowed. If you go look at the murders that occurred in Power, doesn't even add up to the murders that happened in BMF. That's the funny part about it. And the murders.
Well, here's the thing. BMF is based on a real story.
Correct. Exactly. Real story.
Power restriction.
But what I'm saying, so you want to go fictionary drugs with a beautiful drug dealer who has to be handsome and is cool.
Okay, wait, Coach, I'm gonna need you. Okay, so let me do this.
But you go real.
Come close. All right. It was Omari Hardwick. Come on,
bro. Okay. It
was for me. Okay, I'll just leave it alone. I'm gonna stop right there.
Come put your ear on the phone. I don't care if it was Flavor Flav. Number one, like, yeah, boy. Right? I don't care. Right? The problem is you cannot say that you are a huge Power fan and you love the Power series because it was fictionary and everything. Because here's the difference. Ghost turned his son to a drug dealer. Big Meats didn't. That's the funny part about it.
Okay, well, so Tony, let me do this to you, bro. Let me say this. With BMF.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this with all of my heart. Because it was something that was produced by 50 Cent. Right. He was able to do a BMF because of Power.
Right.
He was able to employ everybody you see here on the screen and beyond. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. But I said BMF did not catch with me.
Right. What about Raising Canaan?
Raising Canaan did not catch with me because
why
that didn't catch because I did not take the time to watch either series.
Okay.
I wanted to. Believe you me, I wanted to. But here's the thing, at the very end of Power, I remember not checking out on the 6th season because my mom was sick and then she had passed away. So my brain had disconnected and my emotions had disconnected. They're like, 50 Cent's got a new series called BMF. I'm like, yeah.
You know why people picked up on Power?
I'm still grieving. What was that?
You know why people picked up on Power?
Why did people pick up on Power?
Based on the numbers and based on when it happened, people picked up on Power, as they said, because they were fans of Empire. So they were fans of Empire and they bled over to the Power series. So
I disagree.
I totally believe that.
I totally disagree with that because Power came out in 2014.
Power came out before,
and Empire didn't come out until I think maybe 6 months to a year later. I have to check. Let me check.
Yeah, I got to check on that. But the other thing, I'll go back to your comments you mentioned a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing I got when I look at Raising Canaan, right? The Raising Canaan, if you watched it, for those that do this on here tonight, it is what? It is supposed to be a true story of who? 50 Cent. Now, if it's a true story of 50 Cent, what's the #1 movie 50 made about himself?
Get Rich or Die Trying or something.
Bingo.
The first album.
So if it's a true story of 50, that means Get Rich or Die Trying, it was a complete lie.
Really?
So that now I'm gonna make you watch the show. You see what I'm saying? See what I just did? You're gonna have to go back and see it because you watched Get Rich or Die Trying, right?
I do remember that. I do remember that.
Do you remember movie. The plot of Get Rich or Die Trying?
Not off the top of my head because I know we were going to talk about this.
Okay, gotcha. So in Get Rich or Die Trying, for those that are movie buffs on here, Get Rich or Die Trying, big time movie. Love the soundtrack off the yard. One of the best soundtracks 50 ever made in his life. Put him on top of the yards. At the same time, he was buying what? Vitamin water and sold it to Coca-Cola for what? 100 mil. We get past that. But in Get Rich or Die Trying, he gets shot 10 times, right? But he lived with his grandparents. He hated his mother. He was with his grandparents. Didn't even know who the hell his mother was. Didn't know his dad. Well, dad was a big-time drug dealer who happened to be in prison. But every time he got with his mother, he only saw his mother for 5 or 10 minutes here and there. Then he got so to the point that his grandparents couldn't stand him because of what he was doing. They didn't like him bringing the work, as they called it, in the house. So they put him out. So at 14, 15 years old, he gets a loft up in Brooklyn, right? So he's up there in Brooklyn doing his things he got to do, blah, 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 whatever. The rest is history. Starts making music, started doing everything. And all of a sudden, the night he goes back to get the rest of his clothes, he gets caught in the street, gets shot 10 times, but he survives. They pull the string out of his mouth, wires out of his mouth, has a girlfriend, has a baby, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward. If Raising Canaan is supposed to be the true story, he's never lived with his grandparents in Raising Canaan. He's only lived with his mother. He's had a problem with his mother and his 2 uncles, his mother brothers, are power makers, of which one of the uncles is your boy. I can't think of his name. I love him and everything he plays, but they're tapped to the music industry and the other one's tapped to the streets. So I'm saying to myself, when I watch Raising Canaan, I'm like, do I believe Raising Canaan is his story, or do I really believe it's Get Rich or Die Trying? Because they don't make sense.
So let me clarify something with what you just stated. So let me make sure that I get this correct. And I see DTL 51110. He says Get Rich or Die Trying, and he said he liked both series. Now, Raising Canaan, Raising Canaan according to Deadline is not based on 50 Cent's character. Let me clarify that. Raising Canaan is Power Book 3. Canaan is the character of 50 Cent in the original Power series. So it's a spinoff. It's a part of the Power universe. It was supposed to be five. It was supposed to be 5 spinoffs, but it ended up only being 4.
Yeah, but they can say what they want. If you look at that series, they can say that to the chickens come home and the rooster crows at 6 a.m. in the morning. If you look at that series, he made Raising Canaan based off the same exact character of Get Rich, Die Trying, period. The exact storyline. This exact storyline. The only difference is he lived with his grandparents and Get Rich, and he lived with his mother and Raising Canaan. But the exact storyline, the drug dealing the daddy don't know him, and he becomes a musician. He wants to do this and blah, blah, blah. That exact storyline, he didn't skip a beat except for one thing. He twisted a little bit. So again, that's what made 50 so unique. Well, I think he had 5 or 6 plots in his head, and he was able to launch these plots. And it does exactly what we do tonight. It gives an opportunity for people to debate about what he was thinking in his head. But in the meanwhile, he got rich, not die trying. He got rich.
Exactly. He stayed alive, and like
stayed alive and got rich.
You kept saying Val is my ride or die. No, ride and live. So he lived and got rich.
I just hate the fact of the matter that once again, Val, because now don't get me wrong. I would hate to be little Anthony, Carmelo Anthony's little son, because Lala Anthony, she has some scenes. Oh my goodness.
Okay, I need you to not go about the scenes.
Okay,
all right.
I just
all right, get it out your brain. Okay, so BMF, unfortunately. Okay, so stop. Let's stop. BMF, unfortunately, will not get a proper series finale. And I think about some of and I hate that they do it to shows that are based African-American based. I don't care if y'all don't like the topic of drug dealing.
We do it to ourselves, Val.
But here's the thing. There are several shows. Now, unfortunately, all the shows that I'm thinking about, they were not dramas, but they just didn't get a proper series finale. And it's like, if you're going to respect 50 and what he's created with the Power Universe and BMF, you allowed them to, I think we're going to talk about, I'm going to make sure that we can sneak in and talk about Force. So it'll be the last season for Power Book Force with Joseph Sikora, aka Tommy. It's going to be the last season for Raising Canaan. I think that's Canaan. So that'll be the fifth season. It'll be the fifth and the last season. And so but I think the main reason, unfortunately, the main reason that BMF is not returning, because even though Variety said, it's due to, I think I saw here, it was due to finances and budget. And they said BMF was one of several shows Curtis 50 Cent Jackson produced for STARZ via G Unit Films and Television. And then also he spoke about doing multiple BMF spinoffs. Like he had a plan to go forward to do more stuff. But then unfortunately it states that it had seasons 3 and seasons 4, but now they've decided not to go forward with it. And right now they're prepping for the 5th and final season of Power Book 3, Raising Canaan. And now they're now working on a prequel to Power Origins, which will be and another spinoff of Power Legacy. Right. So going in that direction. So I hate that this is not going to continue, because he wanted to continue to do other BMF spinoffs, but it's not going to happen because of his fallout with the dad.
Yeah. You can read that. You can take the side of the street. I'm telling you, I'm out here. I'm going to take the side of the streets, period. And that's not, they're going to give you anything they want to give you to tell you they can do all that till the chickens come home. Again, it got nothing to do with none of that. If you really want to understand this going on, Get up out of that information that Val just read to you. Pull up on Rick Ross and pull up on Meech, pull up on 50 and read the street stuff that's going on. Read the real stuff. Read the stuff that's going on that's causing these guys almost have street situations that's going on that we shouldn't be having. That has got nothing to do. STARZ can do that, but watch their numbers drop. The big reason why this show is so completely gone is because of the disrespect that 50 gave into Little Meech, and Big Meech is now out of prison. And he's got pissed because Big Meech came home and him and Rick Ross kind of connected with one another. Rick opened his door in Miami. All of a sudden, there was some situation that went there. 50 jumped in the middle of that, and they was going to do this big old party for Meech, and that didn't happen because 50 and Rick Ross kind of got into it. So you got to read between the lines. The STARZ is trying to do everything they can do to cover up so it doesn't seem like it's a bad situation. It just seemed like it was a budgeting. Shit, 50 made $100 million from Coke. Ain't no budget situation, please. That has nothing to do with no budget. He got money. He got connections. He can get money anywhere. He's connected to none other than Dr. Dre. He can get money. That's easy. But it's the situation that's going on with the entire people that's involved. And when you have the people that's involved and you're talking about my dad and disrespecting me, no, I'm not going to show up on the scene for you, man. I don't care who you are. It's just unfortunately, I said again, that we take down us. You don't really see the white shows with this going on. I very rarely see a white show jealous of another white show and all of a sudden it's off the air. No, it's not. But it's always.
Unfortunately, it does happen. It does have that tendency to happen with some of it. But here's the thing: you could either roll with the punches of what's happening with the show, or you just get rolled over. I.e., Grey's Anatomy with Isaiah Washington, either in the first or second season of that show, which is still on. He said something derogatory about another actor on the show. And unfortunately, even though he apologized, they kicked him off the show. And I felt like he went through a blackballing. I think he's doing better now, but it depends on what the show is, and it depends on who's in power. Huh?
Right. We're talking about a doctor show. We're talking about go show me a white show dealing with these people in the streets, dealing with a situation like that. Like, white boy, what's his name? White boy Michael from Detroit. Yeah.
Who's the white boy Michael from Detroit? Who is that? I don't know who that is.
Another story. You got to check that out. He was part of all of this. And he was a kid that was exploited by the FBI to bring these BMF cats down during the time they were getting started in Detroit. So they used this kid. So it's a whole movie about that. And then you got to look at the other things. So if you are tied to these type of movies, you're tied to these type of content like the Wu-Tang and Death Row and all this stuff like that, you kind of got to read into the situation with what's going on in the streets, what's going on with the parallel of the people that they're using. And I get it. 50 was telling a great story. That's the one thing that I loved about BMF is he was telling a great story of exactly what happened. Yes.
But here's the coach. Let the story continue. Let's not.
You can't let the story continue when you made it personal, though.
But here's the thing. I see and I understand that Curtis, I'm gonna say Curtis now, 50. He did something good initially for the Sun, and he did something good to get the story out there. But you've created a series, which means not just the actors, the producers, the grip, the lighting, the cameraman, like all of these people are employed on this set, on these shows, and it's hard.
I get it, but Val, let me ask you this:
for us to get shows, it's hard for us to get shows and to show run them too.
Let me ask you this: you go do 25 on your head, right?
25 what? Push-ups?
No, you got to understand the street. You're doing 25 in the yard, right? You're doing 25 in the yard, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You get out, and Val the Voice and Coach Tony is doing a podcast about your life and why you went inside doing 25. And then you look at it as I'm telling a bunch of lies. to make numbers out here on the streets. And I'm using Val the Voice's name. And you're saying, wait a minute, hold up. I just sit in Menard, downstate Illinois, in a 10 by 10 for 25 years, showering with, 100 women a day for 25 years. Now I'm out, still on parole. And then Val and Tony's making millions of dollars on me, and they lying about this. Are you going to let that go, or are you going to say something?
I'm going to say something.
Correct. You're going to say something. And based on what you say, it could either go left or it could go right. This situation is Meech said something and it took a hard right. And when it took a hard right, never came back.
Yeah, but that's bad.
It is bad.
And we as the fans, Coach, we suffer because if there, and here's the thing, there's people that don't like the content of hearing about or seeing about drug dealers. Totally get that. There are so many other choices. Go and check those things out. But I'm thinking about it from the core of you're working on a show and you're being employed, and you are an actor or you are a showrunner, you are a producer, you are someone who does the composition, the music, all that stuff. What hurts for real? What really hurts is that it makes it very difficult for the next producer to do a show similar to this, because then the next thing I'm going to say is, hey, did you watch BMF? Yes, sir. Did you see what happened? Yes, sir. So do you think I want to produce some crap like that again? No, sir. Well, go rewrite the script, right? Now you got a young artist who just graduated out of HBCU, the next Spike Lee, who doesn't have an opportunity, or he's got to become an independent artist, a movie producer, because the main which is great. Sometimes if he don't have his money, he's going to struggle to get it off the ground, right? This is not 89 when Spike did Do the Right Thing, right? So that's the hard part about it, Val. It goes crazy because right now everything is different. It's no different than when me and you DJ right now. We know that when an artist comes out, they don't sell albums like me and you had to buy back in the 80s. You know that. They sell singles. And the singles, I think they said the other day, the singles got to have, 15 million streams in order to get paid. It's crazy. That's nuts. Yeah. So to wrap this up, unfortunately, BMF unfortunately is not coming back. If you are, I don't know if you are a fan or if you subscribe to STARZ, I think the cable network is going to be fine. But and a lot of people do the app; they don't necessarily do the cable. But BMF is not coming back. But what is coming back is this show, and it comes back on
Chi-Town
Friday. Comes back on Friday.
Tommy coming back to the crib again.
We're happy to see Joseph Sikora do his thing. Chicago hometown come back and this is the last. This isn't the last of the Power series. The last one is Canaan. So Raising Canaan will be out next year. But it has been fun to see him take over and be a terror in Chicago. But
I love Tommy. He's blowing up. I mean, you're going to see him in Reasonable Doubt, but he's blowing up.
Yeah. And like I said, I've been a fan of his since 2014, and I triple checked this for you, Coach. Power did come out in the summer of 2014, and Empire came out in the fall of 2015.
Yeah, so but what I'm saying is that Empire was such a hit. Yeah, Empire was such a hit. People locked in on Empire when it was done.
Oh, of course.
They just drugged that old audience over because they were cool with what Ghost was doing, but man, they were stuck on Taraji Henson and what Terrence Howard and Taraji was doing.
Well, yeah, and I like the Three Sons. I like that. I like that dynamic. But like I said, this series, yeah. But this series, Power Book Force, was actually supposed to be Power Book 5.
Right.
But one of the Power books didn't get produced, so they decided to go forward, and so they're promoting this as one last shot. And so Joseph has been out promoting this, and the other major key stars that are with him is Isaac Keys, Shane Harper. You got Tommy Flanagan. Tommy Flanagan, he was in the first couple of seasons. Lily Simmons. Who else? Who else am I looking at?
They still showing the Chicago mob still active. They still showing them Irish boys getting down in Bury. Still showing them down in Greektown. Yeah, Tommy still got the city on lock. Showing the mob is still active way up in Arlington Heights. I'm like, what? Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he has a very good cast surrounding him. And I felt like he did a great job carrying this show for 4 seasons. It's going to be sad to see him leave Chicago. I don't know if he's going to go out in a blaze of glory.
I think your boy going to come on though, Val. I think Tariq is going to show up because that last phone call, he said, man, you remember that last phone call? Tariq has a phone. Hey.
Yeah, on the other one, on Power Book 2.
He said, we found it. I got you. I'll be there. And it went off.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, he going to show up in the shot. And Tariq
exactly.
Putting work in the city now.
That'll be interesting to see, and I think they're really trying to keep things under wraps because they are not showing the young actor who plays Tariq. They're not showing him pop up on Power Book 4, but he's gonna be in this season. And
I like the brother they got right there. Brother, he did some time in the yard, ex-football player, trying to do right, but his brother pulls him back in to do
Diamond.
wrong. Yeah,
Diamond.
And for those that don't, they grew up in Argyle Gardens, enough rough neighborhood in Chicago, southeast of the city, and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so I'm excited for this. I was gonna show the trailer, but we'll do that at another time. But this show comes back on Friday, and this is interesting. This is Reasonable Doubt is still going. It's got probably 1 or 2 more episodes, and I feel like this is perfect.
Reasonable Doubt is done. I've already watched everything.
It's done?
You got 2 more episodes.
Well, I have 2 more episodes to watch because I'm on episode 8, and I think it's going to go 10 episodes. Reasonable Doubt went 10 episodes. Is that about right?
Nope. It's going to stop, and then it's going to be ready for the new season. But I'm not going to.
Okay. Did it go 8 episodes or 10?
It went 8. You about to finish the rest of the season after you finish episode 8. You're going to not see anything.
Wow, it only went to episode 8. Okay, well then you're
going to be done, and then the next new season, and it's going to end in a crazy situation, and it's going to make sure they bring another season back because there's too many questions to answer.
Oh my God!
I thought they put a black girl on the stands as a lawyer, man, with power in LA. Come on, man, that was dope.
One last shot. Power Book 4.
Let's get it.
If you don't like violence, if you don't like drug dealing, please do not watch this show. I'll just
turn this on just so y'all can see the shot, baby. Turn it on just so you can see parts of Chicago that they don't show. Right? Unless you watch the Chicago PD, you see every part of the city, all the hood, because Chicago PD is real. Chicago PD real with it. I love Chicago.
Yeah, I'm a fan. So it is what it is.
Voight,
oh my goodness.
Matter of fact, Tommy needs to call Voight and tell Voight to come over to Tommy's show for us.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Well, we're wrapping up. This has been a fun time. And of course, the book, A DJ Saved My Life, it is available on purelightHousemedia.com. You could go there and do your thing. And the print book is available. I will sign it. Coach reminded me that I have not got him a copy of A DJ Saved My Life. So we need to correct that immediately. My apologies.
Immediately.
I need to repent. So we need to get him a print copy. We need to mail it out soon. And then, of course, the Pull Up Podcast Show is coming back next week. So
I think I got a special guest. I'm going to tell y'all who it is right now. We're working on some good things. But again, you know, for those that heard the show last night, I am opening up a brand new thing. Once a month, we're going to have showcase highlights of HBCU. So if you got a student, a son, a daughter, a niece, a nephew, a little cousin, mother, whatever it may be, a friend of somebody that you know who is at an HBCU program and doing some major things. They don't always have to be in sports, right? They could be in the band, academically. Man, send them out. We're going to do this thing called the HBCU pull-up. So we're going to start that. We got a kid that's coming on board, and I'm working with a kid right now that's got a hell of a story coming from Florida AMU Rattlers, FAMU, HBCU. You know. Yes.
You know how that goes. Hey. And I want to give you guys a heads up. The information is in the description of this podcast, but the Power Networking Experience is in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's going to be on tomorrow through Saturday. So if you guys want more information, if you're in Atlanta, come check us out. It's at the Omni Hotel. And so you guys go check it out. And, you know, there's still, here's the thing, Coach, I found out that they did not get any corporate sponsorship. Who? So it is for us, by us, the Power Networking Experience, that conference that's happening starting tomorrow.
Oh, wow. No sponsors.
No corporate sponsors. It's just boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. We doing our thing, and I'm so proud. I'm like this. Yeah, we can do it. Another word,
y'all pledging. Y'all back in y'all. hey, I did that move. Y'all know what that was. Like, hey man, y'all better lock up. Don't let that go. Don't break that link. Y'all already know, bro. Man, yo baby, yo.
Yeah, so anywho, but we'll be back on next week with the Pull Up Podcast Show. But on behalf of myself and Coach Tony, you know what we like to say when we're saying it. Peace.
Peace.
Be blessed.